Hello, Typing Piper here with another video. And today, smoking from my Champion pipe. Nice little brass fittings all over it with Algerian briar. And inside, Founding Fathers. Cornell and Diehl, one of the blends of theirs that I do like. It says that it has a pomegranate taste to it, but it smells more like figs. Not really sure about the pomegranate. I'm a big fan of pomegranate, and I don't really get that from this blend, but I do like the taste. I do like the smell. It burns really nice. Not too hot. Has a nice long burn to it. It's a nice cool smoke. And I believe it's a Burley Cavendish mix. I'm not too sure. Oh wait, it is on the back. Let's see here. Exotic fruit originally from the Middle East. Yeah, that's not how I'm viewing it. But it says it's a blend that you would have found around Mount Vernon, Monticello, and around the homes of our Founding Fathers. Hope it wasn't picked by slaves. But anyways, so I do like this blend. And speaking of our Founding Fathers, there's been a lot of arguments online lately about what the Second Amendment means and why the Founding Fathers put it in there and how we can't change it regardless of what is happening in modern times. And I have to wonder if we're not looking at the Second Amendment and we look at all the others that have been added and ratified and changed ever since the Constitution was first written, why is this one different? We have to keep in mind that these are a group of guys that said that all men are created equal while they owned slaves. Women did not have the right to vote. Women were viewed as property as well. One of the first Supreme Court cases arguing that women should be allowed to vote was actually an upset husband that said, hey, I have the legal right to tell my wife how to vote. So, I have to wonder, the Second Amendment, these gun owners that say it's to protect against a tyrannical government, that organized militias, yada yada yada. How many of them are actually part of a militia, and what constitutes well organized? Because I live in Michigan, and it seems to be a bunch of overweight, former, current military members or wannabes that just want to go out and play Rambo. When Oklahoma City happened, it turned out that Timothy McVeigh had some connections to the Michigan militia and other anti-government groups as well. And where's the definition? Where's the fine line? I have a feeling that this movement with the students in Florida could actually end up overriding the whole Me Too movement, or at least taking the focus off of it, which personally I feel like that movement burned out. When you're going after guys like Harvey Weinstein and all these other rapist douchebags, that was one thing. But when it burns out and you're going after people like Aziz Ansari because he had a bad date, that kind of says the end of the movement. We know that there's more guys out there. We know that there's probably corporations who are trying to protect their own asses right now with bosses that have been doing the same thing. The difference is, yes, that's a very upset baby in the background. So I'm probably going to cut this video short. We're not going to hear the other people that are finally being brought forward. We're not going to see in the papers if some CEO is being fired, or that more than likely there is a out-of-court settlement that's being pushed through because of this movement. I don't think it's necessarily dead. I just think that if we're going to focus on anything right now, it's probably the anti-gun movement. I wouldn't necessarily say anti-gun. I would say gun control movement. Maybe that's probably a better definition. So I think that hashtag #MeToo is probably going to be taken over by these students, because they finally have a voice where they can say, "Oh, you saw another fellow student shot? Me too." That could be a possibility. Who knows? Maybe they'll have a better hashtag. Personally, I think hashtags are stupid, but hey, it's a social media thing. That's what these kids are using. Hell, I'm making a video on YouTube, so who am I to argue? But the Founding Fathers, I don't think they saw this coming. They sure as hell didn't see nuclear weapons coming. They didn't plan for the automobile. They had no idea that something like the internet was going to happen. Hell, the printing press was state of the art. That was Benjamin Franklin's claim to fame, was owning a press and getting the word out there, and starting public libraries, a nice American institution. But yeah, I don't think any of those guys saw it coming. And for some reason, we have a bunch of people out there who think that the Founding Fathers had a crystal ball, that they could see everything that was going to be happening. They didn't even have an idea that the United States was going to be bigger than the original colonies. The Louisiana Purchase, the move out west, none of those guys anticipated that. The Civil War, I don't think they were prepared for that either, or had seen that coming. I know that there's some debate as to whether or not they're going to keep slavery legal, but when you think about George Washington had a plantation, Thomas Jefferson had a plantation, some of the key figures that signed that, they owned slaves, and they were the ones that put in there that each slave was worth 2/3 of a vote. So if you owned people, you got more of a vote than everybody else. So I don't know what that says about our democracy, or what it was when it first started, but when it comes to gun control, yeah, I think they would have written the Constitution a hell of a lot differently than it originally was, if they knew that all this stuff was coming. They sure as hell didn't see World War I or World War II coming, and a lot of those guys wanted complete isolationism for 200 years, just so that we could establish ourselves as a country. I think she agrees. Anyways, so I'm going to cut this short, see what's going on. I'm probably going to walk into the room and she's going to smile at me like, haha, I'm finally getting the attention I want. Which is fine. Hopefully several years from now I won't have to deal with what the parents in Florida are dealing with. So I'm going to try to get as much quality time as I can, because that's what's really important in life. And that quality time, that family, that bond shouldn't be cut short just because somebody has this childish idea of, I want that, therefore I should be able to have it. It's an asinine idea, and I don't agree with it at all. So, send your comments, questions, hate mail under here, and who knows, maybe we'll finally see some changes coming in the near future.